Welcome to WJOB's Beyond the Uniform podcast, where we discuss the issues affecting veterans who have transitioned out of their uniform and into the challenges of civilian life. Now here's your host.
Welcome back, everybody, to WJOB Beyond the Uniform podcast, where we talk about all of the challenges, the exciting challenges, and progress that we make in transitioning out of uniform and continuing to serve our communities. I am your co-host, Connie Karras, a United States Marine Corps veteran and also co-host of WJOB Veterans Views radio show, and we have a very exciting show. I can't wait to get into this show. We have some very, very special people here to talk about a wonderful entrepreneurial workshop that will be taking place here where WJOB broadcasts live in the Purdue Northwest Commercial and Manufacturing Excellence Center. And this wonderful entrepreneurial workshop is going to be taking place Thursday, December 4th, 2025, all day. But before we get to that, and before I welcome our wonderful guests who are Zooming in today for us, I have a few very important announcements to make. There's been a little bit of confusion where to access our shows because we've had a lot of transitions from WJOB.
The views expressed by the host and guest of Beyond the Uniform podcast do not necessarily represent the views of WJOB and the JED TV staff, Veterans Views, contributors, sponsors, and the American Legion. Thank you for listening.
Non-sports programming stopped being Facebook live streamed on the Facebook Meta platform. And as users of that platform know, one of the major perks is the live commenting feature. Well, Veterans Views radio show is a lifeline that connects the community, and losing the ability to comment live with the co-hosts during the show was a great loss. So, in response, WJOB created a brand new YouTube channel that also has interactive commenting as the show's live stream. So to get Veterans Views radio show and all live WJOB radio shows live streamed to your phone when the shows air, simply download the free YouTube app, hit the black subscribe button to subscribe to our new YouTube channel. It's called WJOB 1230, and Veterans Views and others non-sports live programs will automatically pop right up on your phone when those shows live stream. And you can ask the co-hosts and guest questions, announce events, and just share what's on your mind and give us a shout out without calling into the studio. Also this year, JED TV became the JED TV Sports Network, and as a result, non-sports programming is no longer Facebook live stream, nor is it available on the JEDTV.com website. All non-sports programming archives on demand and live streams, and it's available at WJOB1230.com. That's our new website. Some people are still going to JEDTV.com. My apologies. Those shows are no longer accessible there. So please note also at the new WJOB1230.com website, the live commenting interactive feature of our YouTube live stream is not available. So you can access the shows but not comment live on them at WJOB1230.com. Now, please also note that at this time, this podcast, WJOB Beyond the Uniform, is pre-recorded. It does not live stream. So it's accessible only at WJOB1230.com, and you can access it and all WJOB podcasts at the WJOB1230.com homepage. I'm sure we're showing that right up that graphic. Simply go to the homepage and hit the yellow podcasts button. You will navigate to all WJOB podcasts, or you can access Beyond the Uniform at this direct link, WJOB1230.com/beyond-the-uniform.html. That's Hank, Tom, Mary, Lynn, HTML. And lastly, a very special announcement to make from Jed, Alexis, and the WJOB JED TV staff. On November 14th, 2025, a new chapter began. JED TV Sports Network became the Heartland Sports Network, a unified brand built to better serve our schools, communities, and partners across the region and beyond. So please note that for now, the new website, heartlandsportsnet.com, is officially live. So be sure to go check it out. That's heartlandsportsnetworknet.com. Now, Veterans Views radio show, Beyond the Uniform podcast, and all of the great programming that WJOB TV WJOB and JED TV and the soon-to-be Heartland Sports Network brings to you in the region is still up and going and bring all the best news and programming to you. And we appreciate your patience as we transition, and thank you for growing with us. The best is yet to come. Now, as we approach 2026, celebrating 16 years of the award-winning Veterans Views radio show, as of this past October 25, we want to extend a most heartfelt thank you to our current contributors for bringing us strong into 2026 with your continuing support. We could not have done it without you. And to sponsor Veterans Views radio show and our new Beyond the Uniform podcast that debuted this year, please email us at veteransviewscontributor@gmail.com. That's veteransviewscontributor@gmail.com, or call 219-895-5286. And thank you, all these wonderful transitions we're bringing to the region. So exciting, and thank you for your patience while we transition and make these changes. And without further ado, we have some very special people today. We have a wonderful entrepreneurial U.S. small business Boots to Business entrepreneurial workshop that's going to be taking place here at the Purdue Northwest Commercialization and Manufacturing Excellence Center building in Hammond, Indiana at 7150 Indianapolis Boulevard, right where we're live, coming to you live in the WJOB studios. And today we have three very special people with us who are going to talk about this wonderful entrepreneurial workshop. And it's what it is it's an education and training program offered by the U.S. Small Business Administration, and it provides an overview of entrepreneurships and applicable business ownership fundamentals. Veterans of all eras, active duty service members, including National Guard and Reserves, and spouses are eligible to participate. And participants are introduced to the skills, knowledge, and resources they need to launch a business, including steps for developing business concepts, how to develop a business plan, and information on SBA resources to help. So without further ado, let's welcome our wonderful guests today who are all Zooming in. First, let's begin with Lorri. Lorri Feldt, good morning. How are you, ma'am?
Good morning, Connie. Nice to see you.
Could you turn her, I can't hear her volume. Could you put her volume up a little higher? Maybe it's on your computer. You could, maybe it's on your end, Lorri. I can hardly hear you.
How's this?
Little higher?
I have it up to the max.
Up to the max. Okay. Can you adjust that at all? A little more? Okay. Go ahead and try and talk, Lorri.
How's this?
That's perfect. Beautiful.
Oh, good.
Yes. So, Lorri, I just want to introduce Lorri. She's the director of the Northwest Indiana Small Business Development Center, and she works with organizations in Northwest Indiana's 7-county area. Her responsibilities include assisting clients in business planning and execution, planning, identifying, and promoting conferences and workshops that benefit small and startup businesses, referring small businesses to resources, working with businesses to secure financing for startup and growth, and coordinating the Chamber of Commerce and economic development organizations to impact area communities. Lorri has over 25 years of varied business experience, including sales, marketing management, and customer service roles as a consultant at Whirlpool Corp. and as a consultant and instructor at Purdue University North Central and at Indiana University South Bend. And also, Lorri, you're active with the American Marketing Association Michiana chapter, and you earn a bachelor's degree from Grinnell College and an MBA in marketing from Northwestern. It is wonderful to have you on the program so that we can talk about this wonderful, wonderful workshop coming to Northwest Indiana in the region. So thank you so much for being with us. And now we also have Laura Schafsnitz. Did I pronounce that correctly, Laura?
You did. You did much better than I would even do.
And Laura, you are the public affairs specialist with the U.S. Small Business Administration, Indiana's district office. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And can you just briefly tell us what your involvement here is with this workshop? How the U.S. Small Business Administration brings this to the areas in Indiana?
Well, sure. I am actually also the veteran liaison for the Indiana District Office with the SBA. And Boots to Business Reboot is actually an SBA program that is run through one of our resource partners, VetBiz Central. And I saw you making hand signals. I wanted to see if I could turn up my phone a little bit.
Yes, you as well. If you could possibly turn it up just a little bit more. I apologize. We didn't do a sound check because we were running late.
It's okay. I'm maxed out. I apologize for that. But anyway, you did an excellent job of talking about the Boots to Business program. What it actually is we fund the program. And it's an entrepreneurial journey. It starts out with the Boots to Business Reboot program, and it really is a deep dive into the basics of what you need to do and how you need to be thinking and the things that you need to be putting together to start a business. And then we take it from there. If you follow the Boots to Business track, there's a second portion that's online, and the group that actually oversees it is our Veteran Business Outreach Centers, including VetBiz Central. And they're the ones who are actually teaching the class here in Indiana. They come down and they teach Boots to Business Reboots, usually about once a month in different locations throughout the state of Indiana. And it's a really great introduction to entrepreneurship program. And part of that and the SBA's involvement is that we take part in the class as well. And we help introduce veterans and active duty and reserve military and their spouses to the different resources that are available federally, as well as locally. So when we're in Northwest Indiana and Hammond, we're going to introduce those veterans and introduce them to Lorri and her team and the resources that they have available. So it's not just something where you're going to class and it's a one-off and you're left with, now you're on your own. No, there's a warm handoff to what's available within your area, within your region. So you have somebody to connect with, to work with, such as Lorri and her team, who are one of our resource partners who provide free one-on-one counseling and mentorship for the life cycle of your small business. And you also have access to all the other resources that are available at the federal level through the SBA, through VetBiz Central. They provide free counseling services as well as your local resource partners. And then by introducing veterans and participants to their local resource partners, those local resource partners, they have their thumb on the pulse of everybody in the community who can help you grow your small business. So they're going to be able to introduce you, hey, we've got these people at the state level that can help you out. We've got these folks here, this chamber that is in your neighborhood that can help you out. Hey, we're working with this great organization in your region. And maybe they can help you. They can help you with that. And it also opens the doors to funding, to federal and state contracting resources, possibly exporting, the whole gamut. But step one for veterans is come out to our Boots to Business Reboot in Hammond at Purdue Northwest Communications Manufacturing Excellence Center.
It's a mouthful.
December 4th, and class starts at 9 a.m. If you want to register, all you have to do is go to our website. We have a registration link there. It's sba.gov/Indiana. That's going to take you straight to our webpage. You can find the link, do the registration, and it's really going to be exciting.
Yes, looking so forward to it. And I know that Mark Clement, the Boots to Business manager, could not unfortunately be with us. He's the instructor one of the instructors or the instructor for this workshop.
He's one of the instructors, and unfortunately he can be with us today. Yes. And then the other instructor is Doc Smith. We just call him Doc. And it's a great class, and really excited to be there and really excited to meet people and really excited for people to come on out, join us in class.
I'm considering myself as a U.S. Marine veteran of registering myself. I'm excited to learn more about this. And for more information, though, however, even though Mr. Clement could not be here, you can contact Mark Clement, the Boots to Business Manager, at 810-767-8387. I'm going to give that number again, 810-767. Thank you for putting that up there. We've got the graphic up there for those who are watching, who are going to access the live on demand this podcast. 810-767-8387. And you can also email Mark at VetBizCentral at mark@vetbizcentral.org, and check out that website, vetbizcentral.org. Really some great resources, interesting stuff. And before we go on to our special guest, who is actually a veteran entrepreneur, who unfortunately couldn't be into the studio and is also Zooming in, Mr. Nick Grott. And Nick, are you there?
I am. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
You did, actually. That's probably the first person I've ever talked to.
Yes. It's so wonderful to see you. I want to welcome you to the show, and I can't wait to hear about what this workshop is all about as someone who has gone through it. You can give us your testimonial about this, but before we hear from you, I want to introduce you to our audience a little bit and give them a little bit of a background on you. You were born in LaPorte, and you were raised on a hog and crop farm in Union Mills, Indiana. And you were surrounded by corn, beans, hard work, and the kind of grit you can only learn from family. I love that. I just love that. You're a La Crosse High School graduate in a class small enough for everyone to know your middle name. And on September 12th, you enlisted in the United States Army. What year was that?
The year.
The year. Okay. So
year, yes.
You became inspired, deeply moved post 9/11. Thank you for that.
Yes.
So many folks that we interview on the radio show and the podcast share that common thread. So you enlisted in the Army, going on to serve at Ramadi, Iraq. Please pronounce that correctly for me.
You're spot on.
Is that right on? Okay.
Yep.
With the 2nd
Infantry. Usually say Ramadi for short, but yes.
Okay. With the 2nd Infantry Division, you were with the 17th Field Artillery during Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. Thank you for your service, for your selfless service. And those were experiences that shaped, challenged, and eventually pushed you toward building something of your own. And you certainly did, as we're going to hear very soon here. So then after the military, it looks like life wasn't a straight line, and you made your share of bad choices. You tried different paths. I think we can all relate to this, and I love your honest authenticity. There's such strength in authenticity. And then you worked through the mental weight that so many veterans quietly carry. I have my own service trauma. But every twist led you, Nick, to where you are today, the founder of Patriot Aerial Solutions, a veteran-owned agricultural drone business serving farmers across Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio. And what started as one drone and a vision has grown into a company known for high-quality fungicide applications, zero crop damage, and a work ethic built on long days, long drives, and the belief that rural America deserves the very best that technology has to offer. So you're not just building a business, you are building opportunities. And so from sponsoring youth robotic teams to supporting local softball leagues to working on statewide agro policy and Purdue Extension partnerships, you are committed to lifting up the communities that raised you. And so now you're paying it forward and giving it back. This is beautiful. Patriot Aerial Solutions exists because of the farmers, families, and the mentors who believed in you, and you're proud to represent the story on WJOB Beyond the Uniform podcast. It is such a, and I'd like to mention also that Lorri says of you that you also had a deployment in Iraq, South Korea, and that you also like to hire veterans.
Yes.
So I love that. I just wanted to put that in there.
Thanks for wording that correctly for me,
yeah,
Lorri.
So thank you, Lorri. So Nick, I'm so glad you could be joining us, and I'm sorry about the confusion on the time. As we know that Lorri and Laura are in Eastern Time, and you and I are in Central, and there was a little bit of confusion. So I appreciate you with your flexibility, just jumping right on the Zoom, safely getting off the road and joining us. So tell us what is this workshop like, and when did you go through it, and tell me what it meant for you, and how it inspired you.
Boy, that's a lot.
Yes.
So I went through kind of the program with Eric and his team, and it was probably 3 years ago, and my dad and I kind of to digress a little further to get to the point of wanting to do this. My dad and I, we went to the Farm Progress Show, which it's basically a farm show where every manufacturer brings out all the latest and greatest technology, from combines to tractors to drones. And my dad and I hadn't been since I was a kid, and I made the comment, "Hey, let's go. We haven't been in years. You need to get caught up." He's been retired from farming for quite a few years now. And so I thought it'd be cool to go see it. And we went to the Farm Progress Show, and we were walking around, saw the drones. And I've always kind of been a drone tech, what I will say is a nerd. I've just been a nerd, a tech nerd. Always have been. And I love it. And so my dad and I, we saw the drones, and my dad just looked at me, and he kind of gave me that like awe-inspiring dad look that you don't really see that often as a farm kid. And he looked at me and said, "You've got to do this." And I was confused at first, and we talked a little more on the way home. We had a couple-hour ride home, and he just broke it down that, this is, you know how to spray. You did it on the farm. You know how to handle chemicals correctly. You know how to do what needs done. This is your thing. You need to do it. And so I went home and ended up jumping on the computer, and I thought, well, I've never really written a business plan or anything like that, so I need to get with people that know how, and enter Eric and his team. And I looked them up online and sent out a couple probing emails, and they got back with me. And really, I couldn't have done it without with Eric and his team. I mean, they took me from everything from writing a business plan to putting together financial projections to mock interviews for a bank to helping me locate banks that may be interested in my business plan. And I went to my first bank, and I was currently working for a green manufacturer of farm equipment. And I went to the bank, dropped off my paperwork, and was told, "Oh, we'll look it over." And like I said in my kind of about me that you read is, I don't know. I've had a lot of rough runs, coming out of the service, and I had been told no a lot in doing businesses and different ideas. And so the company I was working for sent me down to Florida for some training, and I got a phone call from the bank while I was down at training. And the banker, great guy, really good friend of mine. And, he said that, he was in contact with Eric and others. Eric's with the SBDC, Lorri, help me, SBDC. Is that correct?
Yes, the Small Business Development Center.
Yes. Okay. I always get the letters wrong. So, but he was helping me out with it, and he was in contact with the banker, and they ended up telling me, "Yeah, hey, you're approved for everything." And it literally just blew my mind. And so I went back, and I had the idea that I was going to work for another year or two, just kind of get my business built up. And when they told me I was approved, I didn't really know how to handle that. Went back and talked with my boss about it, and we had a real good conversation. I kind of offered to work with him and try to get somebody trained in to replace me. That way, when I am ready to step out, that, he would be in good footing, and so would I. And it didn't really work out that way, but either way, I ended up leaving about 3 months after I got approved, and it honestly was for the better. I think it gave me an opportunity to focus solely on my business, what was coming up the following year, and getting the drones, the software, everything set up for them. So it really kind of worked out in the end. So I've really enjoyed what I've been doing.
Beautiful. This is, this is so inspiring because oftentimes, as we all know here, I'm preaching to the choir, and also our audience will understand this. It's so difficult to transition, and I had a difficult time transitioning because I had a lot of service trauma. I'm not a combat veteran, but I had service trauma from military sexual trauma. I was raped twice in the Marine Corps, so I had a very difficult time transitioning back into civilian life. I had post-traumatic stress, depression, anxiety, and sometimes we just don't know how to transition that veteran into gainful employment while also dealing with that service trauma. So anybody can answer this. Laura, Lorri, Nick. So if there is a veteran who is attending this workshop and has some issues, maybe is in the middle of getting a disability claim for whatever reason, and is having some financial difficulty and needs that hand up, how do you direct that type of an individual to resources? Lorri?
Yeah, I'll let Laura and Lorri talk about that.
Oh,
are they still with us? There you go. Yes.
There you go.
Did you could you hear the question?
Laura, you're on. I think Laura's on mute.
Is she on mute? Okay. Laura, you could go ahead and unmute.
I will say, at the SBDC, we work with all kinds of clients, not exclusively veterans. So I might lean towards Laura, since she's the SBA Veteran Business Liaison on that question. But definitely there are a lot of resources wherever the location is. And if it's not something that we do well, we try to connect an entrepreneur, a startup, with what they need most. And that could include exactly the kind of help you mentioned.
And we'll circle back to Laura and ask her.
I think I'm unmuted. Sure. Am I unmuted?
Oh, you're unmuted. We can hear you now. Welcome back.
Okay. Yes. So as when we're talking about veterans who might need other resources, we can absolutely encourage them and direct them to VA resources that are available. Now, I can't speak for the agency because I don't work for the VA anymore. But as a veteran and as someone who has, and like you were saying, Connie, the journey after the military, it hasn't been an easy one for me. And it took me a really, really long time to connect with resources that were available through the VA. But I know for me personally, put them in, if a veteran needs help, I'm going to do my best to connect them to the VA resources that are going to be available in their community and, start them on that path and start them on that journey. There are some depending on a few different things. And again, I'm not with the VA, so I can't speak as an authority or an expert on this, but a veteran who goes through Voc Rehab, there is an entrepreneurial track of Voc Rehab that they can go through, and that's going to reconnect them with us and with resource partners if they want to take that entrepreneurship track. So that is an opportunity, that's an option. But just as a veteran, regardless if it's through my SBA position or any position, if there's a veteran who, if they share with me that they're struggling with their journey, or even if they don't share with me, I'm going to do my best to, say, hey, this is available. I've had success through this portion of the journey. It's not easy, but here are the VA resources that I know about. And then some of those VA resources, they can connect you to networks of resources that are going to be outside of the VA.
Sure.
But I think for most veterans, especially, check your VA eligibility, because I spent a lot of years after getting out of the service not realizing and not knowing that I was eligible. And there were a number of factors that I'm just like, oh, well, I'm not eligible. And I even worked for I worked for the VA, probably 5 or 6 years after I got out of the military. I started working for the VA. And I'm like, really? I'm eligible? Never thought I was. And even from that time, it's been a long journey, and it still continues.
And it never ends. Yes. And thank you. You made an excellent point there. Your last point there. There are resources outside of the VA. In fact, I would like to just mention, for those who are not aware, going to a non-governmental veteran service organization, one of the big four, such as the DAV, the Disabled American Veterans, they have fabulous veteran service officers who file for disability for the individual, for the veteran. It is a much more expeditious process rather than going directly to the VA. Though probably a person will run into the most problems trying to go directly to the VA online, doing it yourself. Don't do it yourself. Go to a veteran service officer. We just had a veteran service officer. His name's John Rodriguez. I am filing through him, and he's wonderful. He goes that extra mile for everybody. He's he was just actually at American Legion 100 this past Saturday, and he rotates all the way around. But yes, you do. So in other words, you do have the ability to give resources to refer out to additional resources for these veterans who go through the workshops, and that's wonderful. I do want to also mention too that Lorri, I would like to learn a little bit more about the Northwest Indiana Small Business Development Center. Tell us exactly what you do there in your role, and really what is the main purpose of the Northwest Indiana Small Business Development Center.
So we have a great team of 8 business advisors who cover the Northwest Indiana area, all 7 counties. I know Nick was mentioning having worked with Eric. We're proud to have Eric on our team as well. So we work with people starting businesses, people who are in business, or even later in life, maybe someone transitioning out of business, wanting to retire. We offer no-charge resources around some of the things mentioned: business plan, marketing, finding financing. That's a big topic for many who reach out to us. We're trying to be there to help that individual take the next step to get off to a successful start with their business or to grow the business they're running now. So we've been pleased to meet with people like Nick. Nick is on a roll, I think, but we work with all kinds of different entrepreneurs, industries from A to Z, whether it's retail or restaurant or manufacturing or all kinds of businesses. And that's what we do each and every day.
Beautiful, wonderful. And I see that there are so many, this is the Northwest region of Indiana, and there's a Northeast. There are so many. There are 10. Are there 10 in total?
Across the state, wherever someone is in Indiana, they can find an SBDC advisor to help them with their business. Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. And the Boots to Business, I'm learning much more about this. The Boots to Business is actually a small business smallbusinessassociation.gov website. It's a program of the SBA. Is that correct?
Yes. Boots to Business is part of the Small Business Administration. We actually fund the actual Boots to Business Reboot and the Boots to Business program. And we provide funding to some of our veteran business outreach centers to be able to conduct the programming and conduct the classes live and in person. The online portions, again, they're funded by the SBA. And, what's great about Boots to Business, and especially the way we run Boots to Business Reboot here in this region through VetBiz Central, is when you're in that in-person class, we're going to introduce you to your local resource partners. throughout the state, whether it's Lorri and her team in the Northwest Indiana Small Business Development Center, whether it's one of the other SBDCs throughout the state, or our other resource partners, such as our SCORE chapters, or we have 2 women's business centers here in the state of Indiana. And all of our resource partners, and this includes Vet Biz Central too, provide free one-on-one counseling and mentorship for the life cycle of your small business. And close your ears for a second, Lorri. We encourage people to take advantage of all the resources that are available to them, especially the free resource partners, because you're going to have an excellent time and receive excellent information and guidance from Lorri and her team. But there might be another mentor with another organization that maybe they have a separate set of skills and expertise that maybe they can provide a different outlook on what you're looking to do. So when you start combining all of those things, and knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have, the more resources you have, the better your decision making can be to be able to develop an excellent strategy and plan to move forward and have a really successful small business.
Yes, it sounds like you cover all bases. This is such a wonderful, well thought out program that really, really helps. And I'm embarrassed to say I wasn't aware of it until I just began co-hosting Veterans Views radio show and talking with Mont Handley. That's how I learned about this. He had asked if we could have you folks on the show, and it's such a gem, and I really want to get the word out. Probably be mentioning it even throughout the year on the radio show, even though we'll only have this workshop here in December. But I will certainly give a shout out to all the regions as we go on with the radio show. And I wanted to ask you too. I'm reading here. This is something that I think is really interesting. If maybe you can speak to this too. So while the Boots to Business is, as you had said, primarily delivered by the SBA District Office Personnel and Veterans Business Outreach Centers, with some support from the SBDC and SCORE and Women's Business Centers, it says that it's available at select military installations across CONUS, the continental United States, but also the Institute for Veterans and Military Families at Syracuse University have select military institutions outside of the continental United States. CONUS. I didn't realize that this program is outside of the continental USA, and it's also available free of charge. Where outside of the USA, Laura, is this available?
Wherever you have an internet connection. Honestly, if you go to SBA, if you go on our website, sba.gov/vets, you're going to be able to find out more information about all of the different programs that are available for veterans. That includes Boots to Business. It includes programs that are available through Syracuse University. We have an actual Office of Veteran Business Development, and they are hard at work developing relationships, developing programming specifically and tailored towards the unique needs of veteran entrepreneurs and veteran spouses, because spouses of veterans are eligible for veteran services, not necessarily with the VA, but when it comes to small business. For example, when you are looking, let's say you have a small business and you're interested in federal contracting, and you are married to a veteran or you're married to a military member, as a spouse, you can claim veteran status or service disabled veteran status and certification for your small business. So that's just another box that you can check off when you're competing for those federal contracts. And that's why any of the veteran programs, if you are a spouse of a military member or a spouse of a veteran, then you are eligible for any of this veteran programming as well, including Boots to Business, including any of the programming that might be coming down from the different veteran organizations that SBA is connected with. And a lot of times veteran organizations that are outside of the SBA system, a lot of them are recognizing that, and making their programming available to spouses as well as veterans and military members.
Oh, that's
wonderful. And even though we've been talking a lot about Boots to Business and the SBA network, I do want to give a shout out to a couple of organizations here in the state of Indiana that are very, very active and work closely with veterans on small business growth. And that would include InVets. And you can find them at invets.org, I believe. And another really cool organization that offers an entrepreneurial executive leadership training track for veterans. It's newer. It's called Vet Ventures. And it was actually started a few years ago by a veteran and his spouse. And they have a really they're passionate about providing resources and stimulating entrepreneurial growth for veterans and military members, because, and we've covered this before, coming out of the military, it's not easy.
Yes.
It's an adjustment, and it's 10, 15, 20 years later, you're still adjusting.
Yes.
And so having these avenues and being able to network and commune, if you will, with people who have had, similar experiences as you have, can make all the difference of the loan,
yes.
All the difference in the world. Because a lot of times, I know for myself personally, it's just like, people don't understand. Right. People don't know what I went through. People don't know what my service was like. Right. They don't understand being in the military. And, just having that connection can make a huge difference, and realizing as a veteran that regardless of circumstances, that you're not alone. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes, at least for me, a lot of times I felt like, I'm by myself. It's like that really bad, I forget who sings it, All by Myself. But anyway, that song started in my head.
I know the song you're talking about. And hey, Nick,
we can do a little karaoke, but let's not.
Yeah, Nick, you want to give us a few bars?
Yeah.
Trust me, you don't want that.
You're good with drones, not with singing. Gotcha.
Exactly. Do not invite me to karaoke.
So, I wanted to piggyback off what you just said too, Laura, about how you're not alone. We talk about this on Veterans Views radio show every Friday. We mentioned the 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline, 24/7, 365, completely confidential. You add a 1 to that. You can text or call 988. Add a 1. You can speak or text with a veteran mentor, a veteran who understands you and who really deeply cares about you. And isolation is so horrible, not just for the veteran community, but for anybody. And now post-pandemic, we're having a lot of challenges. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, right? We see a lot of uncertainty in general. Business owners, may they be small or large, it doesn't matter, government or non-governmental. There's a lot of uncertainty, economic uncertainty going on right now in our country and globally. So it's very important to know that we are not alone. And I can relate to that. Gosh, a veteran doesn't understand me, particularly when I got out of the military. And so I'm so grateful for such a very well connected network here in Indiana, Northwest Indiana. Northwest Indiana has the second largest amount of veterans just behind Marion County in Indianapolis. But if you were to adjust for per capita, we actually have the most here because our population isn't as large as Marion County. But I wanted to also ask, before I ask a few questions about your service and your company, Nick, what is SCORE?
SCORE.
Organization SCORE. Can you answer that, Laura?
Yes.
Yeah.
So SCORE is one of the SBA's resource partners. And they're actually a national organization. And I believe their website is scorementors.org. Here in the state of Indiana, we have 4 chapters. We have a chapter that covers North and Central Indiana. We have our Indianapolis chapter. We have a Southern chapter, and we also have a chapter out of Fort Wayne. And they're a volunteer organization where their teams are either retired or still actively working entrepreneurs or business executives who are literally people who have been there and done that. Wear the t-shirt, made the t-shirt, got the t-shirt, and they again provide that free one-on-one mentorship, guidance and training and mentorship for the life cycle of your small business. And when I was talking about earlier, work with the SBDC, work with your counselor, but you can also take advantage of these other free resources as well. The SCORE Mentors or the SCORE.org website, they have a really cool website. It's pretty obtainable. It's one of those places they have a lot of online training. So when you're up at 3:00 in the morning and you want to be productive with your time and you cannot sleep, you can check out some of their training modules, and it runs the gamut. You can, they have things as simple as, how to do your business plan. They've got amazing templates on their website. They have financial guidance. They have classes on how to utilize SEO. They're starting to dip their toes into having online trainings that are available on demand for AI. And they also have teams of mentors. And depending on what industry you're in, you don't necessarily have to stick with a mentor that is in your area. You can, if you're comfortable with having someone who can work with you virtually, you can go through their mentor list and find somebody in your specific industry and pick their brain. Say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. So what do you think? What's your experience? What are your suggestions? How can I tweak this to make it better, to make it more efficient and be more effective and have a better strategy moving forward to be successful?
Yes. And I'm looking right now at score.org/find-mentor. Okay. And it's amazing. The information here, not only to start, grow, but successfully exit a business. And it's really, I'm glad you brought up search engine optimization, because so many people starting a business do not know how to properly market it, how to get the most hits, how to get their business out there so people can see it. And they go on, maybe start a Facebook page, which is free. There are so many ways and tools and free training out there in order to know how to optimize that search engine potential for people looking for your business and to reach those, not only maybe your direct demographic specifically, but just to get it out there to someone who you may not even realize is somebody who's looking for you. So, and I would imagine that this entrepreneurial workshop taking place Thursday, December 4th here at Purdue Northwest is going to cover the SEO and some of the AI. Will it cover some of the marketing tools that a small business owner will need to start?
It's not going to take a deep dive into it, but we're definitely going to introduce you to the resources that are available.
Right.
To be able to get you started with this tract. It literally is a deep dive introduction to entrepreneurship. So what are the basics that you need before you even get to the point where you need to advertise your business? What kind of structure, business structure is going to be right for me? Am I good with it? Should I be an LLC? Should I be a sole proprietor? What about corporations? And then let's take a look at taxes. How do I file for those? How do I put this together? What kind of money do I need? Where can I find funding? What does a business plan look like? Why do I need it? How do I put it together? And we're going to introduce you to those things, as well as, the resources that are available, whether it be the SBDC network, or whether it be the SCORE network, the WBC network, and VetBiz Central. And then we'll offshoot a little bit into contracting. What kind of certifications are available for a small business? And, do I need to, what does the application process look like for those certifications? And how do I go about finding help in order to apply for those certifications? What are some different strategies? What are some different options for sale? I think something, and this is not something that I would suggest starting out necessarily for a small business, but exporting is underrated. But what people don't know is, number one, the world is your oyster, if you will. And selling your products and services outside of the United States can definitely be an excellent revenue stream for a small business. And there's assistance available for that. SBA has programs. We do program. The state of Indiana has programs. They have an excellent export acceleration program. Exim Bank, U.S. Commercial Services. There are a lot of helpers that provide services and provide training and provide resources for small business out there, and that's an excellent way to diversify your revenue streams. There's several different ways. You don't have to think, well, I have my product and I'm just going to sell it on Facebook Marketplace, or I'm just going to sell it on Facebook. You don't want to, in my opinion,
put all eggs in one basket, correct?
Exactly. Yep. You want to diversify your revenue streams. So let's say I have some government contracting. Let's say I have some private sector contracting. Let's say I have more talking with my hands like claws, because that makes the most. No, I'm joking. Exporting, I do. It's horrible. Exporting is an excellent revenue stream that you wouldn't think of. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a product. It can also be a service. There's actually here in Indianapolis, there's real quick story. There's a woman who she took over the family gymnastics business, and they had a couple of gymnastics academies here. And she'd grown up in the business, and she had been a competitive gymnast, and blah, 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 blah. And what she was noticing at the two schools was, once you hit a certain age, a lot of the boys were dropping out of gymnastics. And she's thinking, as a business person, well, that's revenue lost. How can I attract and bring in, more students into my program? So she developed a curriculum called Ninja Zone. And what she did, she opened up Ninja Zones within her academies, but what she did is she sold the curriculum. Then she started selling it overseas. And she currently sells the curriculum for Ninja Zone, which is trademarked and copyrighted and all the things. They have merch and all the things. And you can find Ninja Zone academies and curriculum in gymnastic studios throughout the entire world. in at least 8 different countries.
What is the website again for her?
Ninja Zone.
I'll go find it right now. Let's see.
Yeah. Casey Wright is the name of the woman who did it. But Ninja Zone, and I mean, it is really, really cool.
NinjaZone.com.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And she sold the curriculum, and she saw when she started selling the curriculum, she saw her profits increase by probably 200 or 300% within that first year. So there's so many options and so many opportunities. And going to the Boots to Business workshop, we can start helping to introduce you to the resources that are available so you don't feel like you're alone. Because sometimes being an entrepreneur and being a solo business owner, sometimes I feel like, because a lot of times entrepreneurs, especially when they're starting out and it's their first business, they do all the work themselves. They think they have to do everything because it's their baby. It's like raising a kid. It's their baby. They're the only ones who can do it right. They don't want to put any of the responsibility on someone else. But just because you own a business doesn't mean that you are an expert in all of the things. You're not necessarily an expert unless you're an accountant. You're not necessarily an expert in accounting and bookkeeping. You're not necessarily an expert in legal. You're not necessarily an expert in marketing. But you sure as heck know how to open up and run a manufacturing line to produce widgets better than anybody on this entire earth. But what we're doing with Boots to Business and our SBA programming is introducing entrepreneurs to the resources they need so they can find all of the people, all of the resources to help them do the things that they're not necessarily experts in, to effectively, efficiently, and strategically grow and expand their small business. Because small businesses, they're the backbone of the American economy. Throughout the nation, 94% of the businesses in the United States are considered small. Here in the state of Indiana, 99.6% of the businesses in the state of Indiana are considered small businesses. And we have close to 600,000 small businesses just in the state of Indiana. So who's employing who? Where are you going? Where are people going to work every day? More than likely, they're connected to some sort of small business.
Yes.
They're the backbone of our economy. And they're also the ones who support our kids' sports teams, who, it's the pizza place where we go to have pizza every Friday night. They're supporting our PTAs. They're supporting our communities. So having a robust and strong small business ecosystem is vital to the success of our neighborhoods.
Yeah, we're so all interconnected. I don't think people realize we are all connected. When to use that adage that sounds corny, it's really true. It takes a village. So we can't do this by ourselves, but we all are our neighbors, and we have become disconnected from them. How many people now live on a block where they can say, oh, I talk to my neighbors, I know who lives 3 doors down? That seems uncommon anymore. And it used to be when I was a kid, we knew our neighbors. We knew them by first name. We could borrow anything. We need to get back to the interconnectedness of our neighbors, that neighborly feeling. We're all connected. And, speaking of small businesses, Let's talk to Nick now. Nick, are you still with us?
I am.
Yes, I can't wait to talk. I'm looking at your website. Something really, really, it's just beautiful that you're talking about how your business came about. You wrote something here where you're not just putting chemicals, on crops. You're connecting people. And, this is beautiful. You tell us how your transition, how you progressed, how you came to find what exactly you want to do, how you want to serve people. how the SBA and this SBA program, Boots to Business, helped you formulate your mission statement, and where you want to go with this, and how it all happened.
Oh gosh, I don't know how far back you want me to go because it's a long road.
How about when you went to the workshop?
Well, so
how far along were you there?
Well, I'm going to be attending on December 4th, and so getting in contact with the SBDC, and then kind of everybody else has kind of led me up to this point. So I guess
I thought you had attended another workshop that they helped you, and then you started your business. You didn't
just working with the SBDC.
I see. Okay.
Yep. So I'm actually, and that was kind of my comment to Lorri just this last week when we met up, is I pretty much told her, like, if there's a veteran program or anything, don't ask me, just put my name down. Like, I will be there to support it in one way or another. So I'm extremely excited for it. Hearing everything about it has only gotten me that much more amped for it. So, going back, I guess when I got out of the service, I could show you a resume that's a mile long. I mean, and I'm sure, both of you are probably familiar with the transition of coming out of the service, it's hard to change your mindset and install the filter that you need sometimes, that goes between your brain and your mouth. Cause it just comes out sometimes and you don't mean it to. So, again, that's not why my resume is long. I don't mean it in that sense, but it just being inside of an office, being inside of a building, when you're field artillery, you're out in the open 24/7, and you're used to that. So I really struggled with being confined in four walls. So I started a automotive repair shop, and that worked out very well. Ended up moving back home to get closer to family, and that's went through a bunch of jobs, couldn't really find myself, get my feet set. Right. And like I said, kind of in my about me is it's struggled back and forth when I first got out, probably the first 3-4 years with alcoholism. Just went back and forth with it. At one point you almost hit that point of giving up, and then you find that thing that gets you back seated. And for me, it was getting back home to family. My grandparents, they were my cornerstones in life. So getting back home to be with them, kind of as they kind of reached the end of their life, it was really that sweet closure that got me right. So, again, working with Eric, the SBDC, kind of everybody, I wouldn't be where I am without them. And this is where I needed to be, is, my office now, as you can tell, is my truck.
There you are, right there. Yes. We see it behind you. It's beautiful.
Yes, it
God's
was
country.
Conveniently, the where I stopped, the fields around this school that I'm parked at, I sprayed these fields. So, it's kind of neat coming back and seeing them out there all harvested and they're gone. So, but yeah, so now that's kind of my new mission now is, I started the business. Things are going good. My very first employee was let's see, how do I say it politely without having him want to beat me up? Let's see. He would be my first silver employee, a little bit more senior than me. And he knew me when I was 4 years old, and he has kids older than me by far.
Well, that's quite all right. If I was to take this cover off, you'll see that I'm all white. My hair's all white. So, yeah.
Well, he was my first.
Respecting your elders quite nicely. You weren't being mean. So
exactly.
Nice. I like to be called a silver fox. So I'm just saying. So
there you
no
go.
offense. Yeah. So
yeah, Gary.
Go ahead.
Oh, Gary, he was my first employee when I first started this, and he's a retired veteran. I kind of twice retired now, so I'm very happy for him. He doesn't need to work, but he just wanted something to do, and he saw what I was doing, so he reached out, and so I told him some of the licenses that he'd need to get, so that way he could do this with me, and kind of helped him out through it with what I could, and He got all of his licenses that he needed, and he helped me for my first year. It's just me and him as a dynamic duo, if you will, and went through the first year, and it was fantastic. It was so nice having him support me, and he'd always tell me, Nick, I'm not here to be your employee. I'm here to support you and be on the level with you. And it's a military thing. That's just who you are. It's not a competition of it's yours, it's mine. It's let's just get the mission done and let's move on.
Yes. And I don't know if Lorri, are you a veteran?
Lorri had to leave us.
Did she had to leave? Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not know she left.
She had to jump off. She had a client. She had to.
Very good. So Laura and Nick, you as veterans, we all know that I was going to make a point now and I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay. So, something comes to mind, several things hearing you talk, Nick. I'd like to ask you in a moment what your thoughts are now with the tariffs affecting, in particular, farmers, and how you are dealing with that situation and how you see it affect them, with the increasing costs. But before that, I also wanted to make another point, and we all know this as veterans as well. I had alluded to the fact that there is so much difficulty in transition, but also what really strikes me about this program is that how it can help you transition out of a business. Say you have a business for a while and you are a senior, you want to transition out of it and go into something different, or completely transition out of it in the most advantageous way to everybody. I love that there is that service as well. And Nick, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you hiring a senior because, and maybe you can speak to this, Laura, ageism. Ageism is real. I've experienced a little bit of it. I was recently laid off about 6 months ago from a position and have been putting applications in with the VA and Veterans Affairs in various capacities at the state level. And I get overlooked for jobs that I'm very high qualified, sometimes even overqualified for. So, Laura, how what are your thoughts on ageism, and are you finding that a lot of people are going to you for some help to find strategies in getting past the ageism that is in the industry?
That is a very good question. When it comes to hiring, we do have through our resource partners, and we're starting as well as a federal agency, really taking a stronger look at let me backtrack a little bit. Something that we've heard from entrepreneurs over the past several years has been that it's difficult to find the right person. It's difficult to hire. It's difficult to find people with the skills that an entrepreneur or a small business needs. And then be able to hire them. So we're excited. Actually, we just signed the SBA, signed an MOU with the Department of Labor to begin doing more work together on workforce development. And
oh, did we lose Laura? Looks like we might have lost Laura.
Oops.
Laura, if you can hear us, go ahead and try to get back on. Let's see if we can get her back. So until we get her back, Nick, how are you finding what are the major obstacles right now that farmers are facing, and how are you helping them to navigate that?
Well, I guess from a farmer standpoint, working with them and just kind of getting their feedback. I know right now, a lot of, like you were saying earlier, the tariffs, a lot of the deals that we're striking with other countries are, I know China's a big one that kind of puts up a lot of flags.
And welcome back, Laura. I see you. We lost you.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Sorry, Nick. Did you want to finish your comments, Laura? Stand by, Nick. We'll get right back to you. Go ahead.
Sure,
Laura.
go ahead.
So I was close to being finished there. We just recently over the summer signed an MOU with the Department of Labor to start doing more joint training and more joint events to be able to help small business owners and those who are looking for work come together and be able to help each other when it comes to employment in the U.S. Because like I said earlier, small businesses, they're the backbone of the economy. But as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know how to hire somebody, if you don't know how to do the HR, that's where the, tapping into the resources and the resource partners, those are the questions that you can ask your mentors. Hey, I want to hire some people. What do I need to be looking for? How do I do this effectively? And when I start hiring, how do I develop the morale and esprit de corps and effectively manage people and treat them well? Not all of us, not everyone out there in the world has been through NCO training.
Right.
And as troops and those of us who've gone through the NCO Corps, that was one of the things that, know your people, treat your people well, take care of people. As an NCO, that's what we did, was taking care of our troops, taking care of our people. So not everybody knows how to do that. And going back to what I was saying earlier about, as a small business owner, you have expertise in your thing. That thing might not necessarily be management or HR. So coming to the SBA, working through our resources and our resource partners, we can help provide you with that training. And with this partnership with DOL, they can help, they can help with that training, and they can also provide access to the workforce development and the data sets and the data that are the resources that are available of where can I find people. They've got people that are coming to them and saying, I need a job, I need work. So let's get those things together. Let's marry those things together, if you will, and help small business owners find the right people for the right jobs in order to successfully run their small business.
And speaking of the right person for the right job to run a business, Nick, you're a natural. The way you pay forward, I want to give you some kudos, for recovering and continuing to serve others, and also yourself, because what you're doing when you serve others is you also serve yourself. There's not 100% altruism, right? Even Mother Teresa in her good works got a feeling of good gosh, I feel good about myself for doing good things for people. So it's kind of like just a wonderful little ebb and flow. So substance, I just want to mention, substance abuse and drinking is a way that many veterans use to self-medicate from the service trauma when we do transition. So there is quite an relatively high incidence of substance use disorder, of SUD, with us. So that's why I think it's really important that we do stay connected, and we have a very well-connected community. And having a program like this that keeps us connected is so wonderful. And now you're giving wonderfully back to the community. I can't wait to meet you. I think I'm going to register for this workshop because I really was looking forward to meeting you this morning. But now I'll get to meet you on the 4th. And but very briefly, before we're going to give all the contact information for all the organizations and how to register, but before we do that, just briefly, how is what's going on right now with the terrorists and the other difficulties facing barriers facing our farmers affecting how you can help them, and how are you getting around that, Nick?
Yeah. No, great question. Very, very well worded. One thing that we're struggling with, again, with like you just said, with the tariffs, farmers, exports, again, like Lorri and everybody's been talking, exports are a huge issue as well with, our current administration trying to work deals with other countries. Again, I'm very, obviously I think we all are, but very pro-America, and I do feel that we have some different things that we need to improve on as far as with trade deals and things. So I think that needs to definitely be worked on for the farmers a little bit further. So I think progress is being made. It's just a step at a time. So as far as how I can support the farmers, one of the biggest issues is a lot of the drones nowadays. Well, to start, a lot of the drones were the DJIs from China. We've had issues getting them imported. We've had issues getting parts for them. The FCC has recently passed different bills that are now kind of making it possible for them to any type of drone or anything that has like a radio frequency. The FCC can also go in and kind of remove it from being approved or disapproved for import into the US. So that's one thing that we're kind of struggling with, is there's a lot of new drones, a lot of new technology. And I personally, we're a DJI dealer, so we do sell them as well. We have a service center.
And forgive me for interrupting you. Is that a brand, DJI? Is that a company?
Yes, that is correct. Yep.
Right.
Yep. DJI, they got their start kind of with the small video drones that were, I don't know, I guess probably 15 years ago, kind of smaller ones. And they basically use that as their platform to build up the technology to get the bigger ones. And everything from the user interface and whatnot, it's just very advanced for what it is. There's pros and cons to this, though, as far as getting, Chinese drones into the US. It's given an opportunity for a lot of U.S. manufactured drones to start pushing themselves to be more known, which, again, being an entrepreneur, I love that. I think that's phenomenal. I think we need, a lot more competition in the drone market, so that way we can kind of use each other to push one another to make a better drone and provide a better service to the farmers, not just farmers, but, commercial use as well. So I do see it as a good thing that we're kind of slowing the imports down, but at the same time, it's kind of not a good time to be a DJI dealer for myself, because I can't really sell a drone and with confidence tell somebody, hey, I can have it for you next week. It might be the next month. It could be 2 months. It just depends on, how quickly it can get through customs and, get over to Indiana for us. So, but we're making progress. It's definitely getting better.
Sure. And I know that, we probably have all heard that the HVAC industry, their costs have soared because acquiring raw materials has become so difficult. Are you finding that too? Is that the situation with drones as well, or is there not such specialized raw material that goes into the production of them, the manufacture of them?
I haven't heard anything as far as the raw production materials. I'm not necessarily that far involved, but has it slowed down the production of them? Okay. Not that I've noticed. It's just the importing of them is what's been slowed down.
Right. Well, gosh, let's make sure. Could we put up Nick's contact information? I want to direct everybody to your website. Let everybody know what your website is, and your hours, and a phone number where they can reach you, as well as an email. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, sure. So it's PAS219.com. Patriot Aerial Solutions is PAS219.com. Email is ngrott, GROTT, at PAS219.com. And my phone number, and it's my cell phone. You can text me, you can call me. It's 219-786-9137. And as far as an hours, it's like the military. We're always open. Right. We're always available.
Great. And you're located at 875, I can't read it all the way.
Yeah, Jetland Drive.
Jetland Drive, and that's in Couts, Indiana, correct?
Yes, that's in Couts.
And Couts is we're located here at WJOB Studios in Hammond. How far is Couts from Hammond? Is that something like a 30-minute drive or 40?
About 40, 45 minutes.
45.
We're about 15, maybe 20 minutes south of Valparaiso.
Right. Okay. I've been there. It's a delightful little town where I see people driving John Deere tractors down the road, and it just brings back a just a small town vibe, and I just love it. So let's also, before we go, how long do we have left? I know we started about 15 minutes late. Do we have till about 11:45 Eastern? No, a couple more minutes. Let's close up then. We're getting down to our last few minutes. Let's be sure to let everybody know. I'm going to show the graphic. Laura, will you tell us again how to register for the December 4th Boots to Business Entrepreneurial Workshop here at the Purdue Northwest? There you go. Go ahead. She put it on up. Go ahead.
Okay, so all you have to do, go to our website, which is sba.gov/Indiana. Scroll down about a third of the way down the page, and you're going to see our events. And it's the first one right there, December 4th. Click on that. You can register right there on the site.
Beautiful. And again, it's from 9 to 4:30 Central Time, not Eastern. Over here in Hammond, we're on Central Time. And it is free, correct? Free to register?
Yes, it is free to register, free to attend, free to participate, and free.
And lunch is provided. Yes.
Yes, lunch is provided.
Yes. And Patriot Ariel will be, and Nick Grott, the lead pilot and founder and owner, will be at this workshop, as will I. So, and I'm going to try to scrounge up a few more veterans. Is there plenty of room left, or is there a capacity limit now?
I think our capacity limit is 50, but I still think we have a few seats available. So if you're interested, please go ahead and register. It's better, prior planning prevents poor performance. I've heard there's an extra P in there, according to my drill sergeant. But anyway, register now and make sure that you're locked in and save your seat.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you so much, all three of you. I'm going to acknowledge, of course, Lorri, even though she's no longer with us. But I want to thank you, all three of you, for being here and taking up of your time and your efforts, your passions to help us, to help veterans and our connected communities. Thank you, Laura Schafsnitz, Public Affairs Specialist with the U.S. Small Business Administration, Indiana District Office, and you also are the Vet Liaison, correct? And,
yes, ma'am.
And tell us about, very briefly, when did you serve?
I did 12 years from 96 to 2008.
Beautiful. And which branch?
Army.
Thank you very much for your selfless service for our enduring freedom. We appreciate you so much. And I also want to thank Lorri Feldt, who's no longer with us. She's the Regional Director of the Northwest Indiana Small Business Development Center. We appreciate you so much. And then, last but not least, Mr. Nick Grott. Thank you so much for being here. Nick is the founder and owner of Patriot Ariel. Excuse me. You still there, Nick?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Patriot Aerial Solutions, and I will see you on December 4th, sir. Looking so forward.
That sounds great. Thanks so much for having me.
It was my pleasure. It was our pleasure to host you all. Thank you. Have a beautiful, wonderful, peaceful Thanksgiving, and safe travels. And we thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you, Laura, on the 4th as well. Everybody, thank you for joining us with this wonderful day for our Beyond the Uniform podcast, WJOB Beyond the Uniform podcast. You can find us on WJOB1230.com and hit podcasts on the homepage, and you can go to all the podcasts to find us. This podcast will drop on Tuesday. That's tomorrow, so everybody knows. It'll drop tomorrow and be available on the WJOB1230.com website. Thank you, everybody. Have a blessed, blessed holiday. God bless America.
The views expressed by the host and guests of WJOB's Beyond the Uniform podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of WJOB, Heartland Sports Network staff, the American Legion, and Veterans Views radio show sponsors and contributors.